And now it's time for another edition of What Would Jello Do? A while back, maybe in June, the San Francisco Chronicle ran an op-ed that took up the entire top half of the editorial page. The subject of the editorial was, Dianne Feinstein, please resign. And the Chronicle billed her from when she was a super aggressive, ambitious member of the Board of Supervisors, our city council, and, nasty from the get-go. Hey, she'll make a big business mayor, whatever. Anyway, for them to say that says something. And it wasn't just her feeble performance at the Brett Kavanaugh hearings and sitting on the rape allegations against him. It wasn't even her feeble cluelessness at the Amy Coney Barrett hearing, where she even hugged Lindsey Graham afterwards for holding such a nice civil hearing. That's how out of it she was. But had reports from office staff that she didn't always know what was going on, didn't always remember what they were talking about from sentence to sentence, maybe not even knowing where she was all the time. In other words, she's really going fast. Schumer had to strip her of her ranking Democrat position on the Judiciary Committee, or she would have been the chairperson now. They knew that she wasn't up to the job anymore. And the reason it is now so damn urgent that she step down and call it a day and get the hell out of there. Instead of being so out of it, she won't rule out running for another term, which would put her well into her 90s when that term expired, unless, of course, she expired even before that election. And that is the worry. That's the big worry now, because now it's looking more and more like our lovely Governor Gavin Newscum may actually get recalled. And all because people don't want to put masks on and stuff. But California's not like that. Most people don't agree with that. Blah, 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 blah. It doesn't matter. The other side will come out when anybody says, recall, recall. Yeah, I like doing stuff like that. After all, the other recall against Governor Gray Davis started with two blowhard radio talk show guys in Southern California complaining about a slight hike in license plate fees. And it snowballed to the point where they found themselves a movie star, and Arnold Schwarzenegger became the governor, while Gray Davis thought he was still raising money to run for president and whatnot. This is how these things can happen, and it is happening again. And people say, Newsom will survive this. Well, I'm not so sure. He has the same Achilles heel Gray Davis does. Nobody really likes him. They voted for him because, he's a Democrat, I guess we'll pull the lever for him. And his opponent was a lunatic, Trump-suckling businessman named John Cox. Yeah, we'll vote for this guy. He's a Democrat, but they didn't really know anything about him. And he's not exactly charming, likable, and whatnot. He just is trying to make himself president and weighing everything that way. And otherwise, he again is kind of clueless, even to the fact that the last poll had 51% in favor of recall, in which case you also have to vote for a new governor, and it's illegal for the governor to run as a candidate to replace themselves. Part of that law that should be replaced, boys and girls, because as of now, the leader in the polls is not even the extreme right-wing, blowhard, Trump-suckling talk show host named Larry Elder. He's gone up from 9%, which was the highest, to 23%. And whoever gets the most percent, even if it's 23%, they win. They're governor. And then John Cox, the blowhard businessman who ran against Trump, who ran against the last time, he's 10%. And San Diego Mayor Kevin Faulconer is at 5%. The last San Diego mayor who became governor, by the way, was Pete Wilson. And Caitlyn Jenner, not a factor at 3%, but a big factor running ahead of all of them is a 29-year-old landlord influencer on YouTube named Kevin Pafferath. 27%. Hey, here's his qualifications. 1.7 million subscribers. 8 videos with 1 million views each. And he believes all COVID stuff should be optional. Masks, shots, you name it. Just make it optional, just like Florida. There shouldn't be an income tax until you hit $250,000, which isn't that bad an idea as long as you raise it on everybody over $250,000. But here's what gets nasty. Paffrath wants to call out the National Guard to clear the homeless off the streets. Then where do they go? He doesn't know. He doesn't care. He wants more rights for gun owners. What other rights do they not have at this point? And he is the leading Democrat running. Yeah. And meanwhile, Elder, who's the other big one, climate collapse is, of course, a hoax. And of course, he wants to drill, baby, drill and frack everywhere. And no more abortions and no minimum wage either. And as far as the homeless goes, roll back the California Environmental Quality Act so you can get rid of all those pesky regulations just to put up more buildings. And the even bigger danger than that, if one of those guys gets in, what happens if we do have a complete lunatic and just chaos when he's trying to deal with wildfires and everything else? What happens if Feinstein dies? It means that, what's his name, Elder or Paffrath or even Cox or somebody gets to appoint Feinstein's successor, and we are at very real danger of Senator Devin Nunes, Senator Darrell Issa, Senator Larry Elder, for that matter, who knows? Senator Bill Simon, you get the picture. And any of those guys would tip the Senate's fragile 50-50 with Kamala Harris, the 51st vote, back into Mitch McConnell's lap. He would hold all the marbles, and every last thing progressives are trying to drive Biden to actually do, any more infrastructure, any voting rights, anything, dead on arrival. So, as repulsive as Newscum is, you kind of have to hang on to him. And meanwhile, for a crying out loud, Dianne, please step down now. Even step down as soon as it looks like he might lose so he can appoint your successor right before he's bounced out on his ass, which will be almost instantaneous. Just time's up. Get out of there. Enjoy your retirement with your rich friends or something. You'll find power somewhere. It's your only real meaning to your life. And for that matter, Dianne, step down, please. And Nancy Pelosi, right behind her, step down, please. Have you noticed how slow and spacey she is when she gets reporter questions? Now, well, it's like really like, something's going on there too. And she is not qualified to lead her party and the House to try and hang on to the House of Representatives against all the vote fraud and big money and neo-Nazis in 2022. She is not up to the job. Nancy, step down now. Along with Steny Hoyer and James Clyburn, they're all 80 or older. They need to go. Just step down, keep your seat in Congress so you can get a newer, younger, more energized group up there and get them up to speed on the job and help train them that way, instead of just walking out and leaving it to people to try and figure it out on their own, including Kevin McCarthy. So again, Dianne, step down, please. You can do it with your head held high. Just get out of there. Nancy, step down, please. Now, democracy is in the balance.